0 to 60 can define a performance car, but it's the fastest 60 to 0 that's the aim of Tarrock's brakes. From road cars to race cars, circuits, special stages, or the autostrada, nothing reduces speed like Tarrock's brakes. Italy gave the world the art of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Tarrock's has given drivers the art of stopping. For more information and to acquire your own masterpiece, visit tarrocks.co.uk. Yes, it's me, Mark Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver Podcast. It's the fastest, it's the friendliest, and it's for all the family. The Gas Shocks 116 Trophy and 120 Coupe Cup are the fastest growing race series in the UK, taking in 6 one-hour races and 8 sprints at all the top circuits. Visit 116trophy.com to find out more and get yourself behind the wheel. From a pot of tea to TT motorbikes. From a classic English breakfast to a full serving of classic cars. Bridge House Tea Rooms is the Northwest premier classic car meeting location for cars, bikes, tractors and owners clubs. So no matter what your automotive appetite might be, visit Bridge House Farm Tea Rooms on their Facebook page or call John and Alicia on 07980 444 221 for show details and to reserve your own table and parking space.
White cliffs of Dover tomorrow, just you wait and see.
The hill climb was the method by which manufacturers proved the worth of their cars. Back in the early 1900s, when Vauxhall was faster and more desirable than a Bentley, and the huge Crossleys ploughed determinedly up the hills against the clock, it was the vehicle that was the winner. Interestingly, back then, the Grand Tourers had to run with a full complement of passengers and luggage. But like all forms of motorsport, it evolved into the two-seater sports cars, where such as Aston Martin and Bugatti, along with their drivers such as Seagrave and Campbell, pitted themselves and their machines against the severity of the hill and how quickly they could beat the clock from the beginning to the end. But, like all forms of motorsport, when it was run on public roads, Yorkshire being a favourite because it has some extremely good hills, Pateley Bridge being one, in Lancashire, Waddington Fell, and Park Rash, and not surprisingly, Holme Moss. But it all came to an end with accidents, and of course we now have the great private road hill climbs such as Harewood, Prescott, Shelsley Walsh. But the aim is still the same, to get from the start line to the finish line up a very, very intricate piece of road, and can you do it quicker and faster and with more efficiency than the next guy? And we now have, of course, single-seaters. People will take part in F1 cars. Ex-Formula 1 cars can now be seen going up the hill climbs in certain parts of England. Rally cars are a favourite. But the one thing about Holme Moss, when it was brought back by Guy Loveridge and his team, it was not against the clock. The modern Holme Moss Hill Climb is not a competitive event. It is the sheer pleasure of driving this famous piece of road deep in the heart of Yorkshire to get from the Fleece to the car park at the top and have as much of a social day as it is a day driving your favourite car. There's a whole cross-section of vintage cars, modern cars, infeasible cars that will probably in their day have never ever competed in an event like this, but it's as much about the atmosphere and the getting together. But after all the years, and Guy and his team, they've put it on for 5 years, absolutely unbelievable. The second era of Holme Moss has come to an end, although something else will take its place in 2025. Guy working alongside Ireland Motorsport to come up with not a hill climb, but something that will entertain and keep the interest of the Holme Moss Hill Climb regulars. So sit back and enjoy my chat with Guy and quite a few of the people who were there. And as I said, 2025 will bring something new. But until then, enjoy.
We'll dance with you. Time can never make.
Here at Holme Moss Hill Climb 2024 with the man behind it all, Guy Loveridge. Guy, welcome to the Backseat Driver.
It's great to be back on the show, Mark.
Just tell us a little bit about the hill climb, because this is the fifth and regrettably final recreation of the original hill climb.
Yes, the Huddersfield and Bradford joint clubs decided to stage a hill climb at Holme Moss in 1920. It did very well, and they carried on running it for 4 years. Well, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then in 24, no less a soul than Raymond Mays came, broke the record in his Bugatti, then broke his own record in his Vauxhall Villiers Supercharge, and in driving his Bugatti up the hill, he had the throttle stick open, went off the course, did a loop-the-loop, and came to stop by heading right up the bank, and so it stalled, decided that was it for the Bugatti, fixed it, sold it, and then the chap who bought it took the car to the Cop Hill Climb the following spring, went off the track and broke a spectator's leg, and that was the end of public road competition. So, although it didn't happen here at the Moss, we had a link. The car that had held the record here was the car that ended public road hill climbing for 50, 60, 70 years.
I mean, the thing is now, the course as such is probably about, 97, 98% original, but a very, very tight corner was taken out, though it still exists, but it's not road anymore.
Correct. It was called the Devil's Elbow by the press, ever sensationalistic, our colleagues in the motor and the autocar. Yes, you can still walk it, and if you've got a 4x4 like yours, you can do it, but I wouldn't recommend it, because we'd have a lovely collection of exhausts if we let these people do it. But it's about 97% of the original climb. We've marked where the start line was on Ings Bridge. We've marked where the finish was, because they allowed a quarter of a mile to slow down before the summit in those days, because brakes not being the May West. But people can get a flavour, and as I've been signing people on, I've been saying, imagine going up here in a Brescia Bugatti at 70-odd miles an hour back in the day. And people, I think, appreciate that we've taken the effort. I mean, it's our best attended of the 5, and although it is the last of the centenary celebrations, people still need to watch the Facebook group, because there is something in the pipeline for next year.
Now, as you were saying, it's the best attended. How many cars are here? I mean, it's an incredibly impressive turnout.
We've got over 100 this year. I can't tell you the exact number because I haven't been counting, but I know we've got over 100 because I counted how many programmes I've got left.
And there's a very special Aston Martin here, isn't there, that I shall be having a word with the man himself a little later.
Yes, the DB9 Golf car was a gift from Aston Martin to Jonathan Turner when Golf sponsored Aston's return, and they won the GT3 class with Darren Turner. And David purchased the car from Jonathan Turner. It's been the pace car at the Vanasca Silver Flag and many events, and David is, I'm delighted, driving it here. He opened the course, in fact, with Christianne Ireland. The first climb was with the Aston, with its safety car logo blazing.
Now, it is rumoured that this was the first competitive venue for Aston Martin.
Now, that, I have a press cutting from back in the day that Mr. Martin of Aston Martin came here and he won the international class. Now, they had competed and won national level events, but it was definitely their first international win. Now, that's a bit of a non sequitur in that the club called it an international class because they wanted to attract foreigners who paid bigger entry fees. But it was won by Lionel Martin in a Bamford and Martin, his own car, which was what Aston Martin was then.
So it's very appropriate that it was Aston's first win as such, and we have a very interesting Aston Martin as the course opener and course closer, no doubt.
This was what I wanted, given Local guy Eddie Hall raced Aston Martins here. He raced Astons in the Mille Miglia. I thought it was appropriate that we had a very special Aston be our last official ascent.
And we shall all keep an eye out for what's happening next year. But until then, Guy Loveridge, thanks very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver.
Cheers, Mark. Brilliant to have you here again as ever. Bye now.
I'm here at the Holme Moss Hill Climb 2024 with a familiar voice on the Backseat Driver, and it's the man I describe as Yorkshire's smallest celebrity, Andy Ace Harrison. Andy, welcome back.
Hi, how are you doing?
All right. Are you enjoying yourself here today?
Yeah, I love days like this because it's low pressure, isn't it? You come out with your car, like-minded people, similar interests, and like you say, you haven't been at a fire. I've been chatting for an hour up in car park. I like talking.
Well, we know that. You're in Orange Box. Now, here's a Mini with a story. I mean, it's the ultimate cut and shut, really, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it was a prototype minivan back in period with Roy Maple, and then it had a bad accident, so then a Mini Cooper and the minivan front end got grafted together, which should be absolutely frowned upon today. And obviously a cage in it, and it's rallied ever since. I mean, in 1963 it went to Isle of Man. We went back 60 years later and won as class in the very same car.
Again,
yeah. So, I mean, it is a car with history. Everybody likes works cars, everybody likes race cars. I just like the Orange Box.
And it's not a Cooper, is it? It's not a Cooper engine.
No, well, it's got one in now, but it's had all sorts of incarnations. It's been an 850, it's had Mini Cooper engines, Cooper S engines, all sorts of incarnations of 1 litres, depending on the classes it needed to do. But its particular way now, it's a 1293. It's made for regularity rallying now.
And the thing is, and no disrespect to you or the car, it's not the most glamorous looking historic Mini, is it?
No, but it's strong. The thing about that car is it'll go over any terrain. I mean, when we did the Isle of Man, we went into the forests, we went into airfields, we roughed single track roads. It never once missed a beat. It doesn't look too pretty, but boy, it's strong. As you'll find out, you're going to have a go, aren't you?
You're going to take me up in it.
I'll take you up in it if you want. Yeah, I'll happily take you up it.
But, so, I mean, will you be involved in next year's potential classic car run? Because I know you always support this event and you sponsor it, or you used to.
I sponsored it for its first 5 years of its incarnation, but last year was the first year I missed it. So this year, obviously, we've missed out on the sponsorship, but I'll happily support this event. So
we will be seeing you again, no doubt.
Yeah, you'll see me wherever I can get out. Business has got so busy that we have this vicious circle of trying to earn as keep and being seen out in the field. I mean,
because the problem is your premises are too small for what you do, really, aren't they?
They are, and everybody around me says we should have grown into bigger premises. We should have expanded. We've expanded as a business, but it's like having a pair of jeans that are too tight for you. I'm very much that vein at the moment.
Andy Ace Harrison, thanks very much for joining me once again on the Backseat Driver.
It's good to see you. It's always a pleasure.
He's a boogie woogie bugle by a company B. He made a brawl of bugle fighters, Uncle Sam. He really brought him down because he couldn't jam. He kept to seek to understand. Because the next thing that camp ran out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's a boogie woogie bugle.
I'm here at Holme Moss Hill Climb outside the Fleece with the Bluebirds, who are
Sarah, Gina, Amy.
A bit of a different gig for you girls, is this, isn't it?
Well, we do a lot of the car shows, but none like this, where it's a hill climb and it's all a public event, and it's very inclusive as well. It's really great.
So the music, from what I've heard, it's like, it won't be important, this Second World War stuff in the main.
Yes, yeah, all 1940s stuff, Andrews Sisters, Vera Lynn. We started off with that era, fell in love with it, and then just carried on. Now we're going to the 50s and 60s as well. So, do you do a lot of events like this? Yeah, we do lots of car shows, for sure. The Yorkshire Elegance for the Fastlane Club we've done recently, and we've got a revival. We do a lot of air shows as well. A lot of, motorsports. The Gold Cup we did.
All down at Alton?
Down at Alton Park, yeah. So I think it goes hand in hand with the old cars, the vintage cars. So, yeah.
And does anybody take you up the hill?
Not quite yet, but we're open to offers.
We've had offers.
Yeah, we might get a ride up there later, hopefully, if it stays clear. We don't want to get wet with the roof down. Right. Not with these curls.
Anyway, the Bluebirds, thanks very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And when he says cuckoo, he means it's time to woo. It's equal time for all the lovers in the club. I got a head.
Here at Holme Moss Hill Climb with the one, the only, Christianne Ireland, friend of the Backseat Driver, and of course, daughter of the infamous Innes Ireland. But this is about your only... This is the only time you pop back up north, isn't it? But Christianne Ireland, welcome to the Backseat Driver.
Well, nice to see you, Mark. Yes, it is, I suppose, to Yorkshire. It is my one time a year that I come up to Yorkshire. I mean, bearing in mind, and I should do it more often, that Dad was actually born up here, went to school up here, and my grandfather had a veterinary practice up here. So this event next year is going to be an Ireland Motorsports event, and we will make we'll have some fun with it, and we'll sort of have some kind of a rally put together, and we'll start at the Fleece and we'll end up at the Fleece, but there'll be other things in between, but a trip down memory lane and a scatter rally of some sort, possibly.
Now, you were in the Aston Martin course car this morning, were you not?
I most certainly was, and that was an absolute delight. There was one moment, though, which was quite amusing, because the gentleman driver who owns the beautiful car, we were just talking, and he said, well, of course you were engaged to Mike Hawthorne. And I sort of thought... that would make me sort of about 90 odd. I said, no, that was my second stepmother. I said, I'm Innes's daughter. I am now getting...
I'm getting old, but I ain't quite that bad.
I'm not that old, and I'm now getting ribbed by all of my friends that have come up to help set up the stand and everything. So, yeah, they're ready to put me in a care home.
Will you be coming back next year, all being well?
Say again?
Will you be coming back next year?
Oh, good grief, yes. No, it's going to be our event next year, Ireland Motorsports.
Right. And apart from this, what else are you doing?
What do you mean?
Well, you tend to do a lot with the British Women Racing Drivers Club, etc.
No, it's the Doghouse Owners Club, which is it's still going. I do the newsletter. But I am going to be going to the British Motors Show next week to do a motorsport panel on the Friday, and then helping another group that set themselves up called Driven Women. Belinda Wednesday's part of it. She'd be a great one to interview at some stage if we can get hold of her. But yes, so I go and help on their stand. And obviously Ireland Motorsports now is properly registered. We'll run it as a CIC for a year and then go for full charitable status. And our programme for the youth is just about up and running, but we have got a programme of what we will be delivering. I won't be delivering it, but the youth employment guy is going to be delivering that.
And are you still doing a bit of racing?
Not this year, obviously. My health, I've had some ups and downs with my health. I'm hoping that I might be going out in Battered Betty, I think in September time, August time, maybe at Gurston. We'll see how it goes. But if not this year, next year. Yeah, most definitely.
Christianne Ireland, thank you very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver, and it's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Mark, it's always lovely to see you, and you've still got some very fancy shoes on. You can always guarantee that you'll turn up in the best pair of shoes.
Once again, Christianne Ireland, thank you very much.
Cheers, Mark. See you soon.
Here at Holme Moss Hill Climb with
David Barzilay,
who is driving the course car, or course opening car, a very, very unusual Aston Martin. Dave, welcome to the Backseat Driver, and tell us about the Aston.
Well, it's a V12 Aston Martin, and quite an unusual one because it's a manual car. So I think they did about 16,000 DB9s Aston Martin built, and there were about 300 manual cars. So it's a totally different car to drive, and great on a hill climb like this.
And it's in Gulf colours, but there's a good reason it's in Gulf colours.
There's a good reason it's in Gulf colours, and actually it's a Yorkshire car. So it was purchased by a guy called Jonathan Turner.
There goes the beast.
There goes the beast. Jonathan Turner, Gulf Oil, and Gulf were sponsoring Aston Martin at Le Mans. The chairman of Aston Martin suggested to Jonathan that he buy an Aston Martin, He bought the DB9, he took it to Le Mans, he wrapped it in Gulf colours, and as far as we know, he took it out onto the track and then brought it home. And a few months later, I was in Yorkshire visiting him. He's now at Beauclerk Hall, of course, and the car was sitting in the garage. He wasn't using it. A couple of weeks later, we were having dinner in London. I made him an offer of a car. He said yes, and I've had it ever since.
Is it a car you use a lot, or is it a car you're able to use a lot because it does stand out?
I do use it quite a lot. My wife doesn't like it when we go shopping in it. So that was all the bane of it. So when I turned up in the car, she took one look at it and said, "I'm not taking it to Sainsbury's."
Other supermarkets are available.
Absolutely, yes, thank you for that. It's a great car. I mean, we've used it all over Europe for events like this. It is equipped to do safety car and course car. It's great fun.
Because I notice it has the flashing lights on the top and everything else. So, is it standard inside?
It's pretty standard inside. I mean, the certain lights, so front lights and rear lights do flash to sort of regulation. So that's fitted out. The other lights are put on it when and if necessary.
But it's a car you enjoy?
It's a car that I enjoy. It's a fantastic car to drive. And the difference between DB9 automatic and a manual is totally different.
I suppose you could say it's a proper car being a manual.
It's a proper car. It's a real driver's car, put it that way.
And I'm delighted to say you enjoy it. Thank you very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver.
Not at all, it's a pleasure.
Here at Holme Moss Hill Climb with George Loveridge, son of Guy. George, welcome back to the Backseat Driver.
It's great to be back on the show, Mark. It's a different day from the cold February day when we last spoke on air, but thanks for coming along.
Now, Holme Moss Hill Climb will no doubt have occupied a large part of yours and your father's life, won't it?
Absolutely. We're only half an hour away, so for a motorsport event for us northerners, it's no time at all. It's always been here growing up. Dad saying, should we go the pretty way home? And this is the pretty way, because you've seen the roads, and they're biblical. They're absolutely fantastic.
It's coming to an end. How does this make you feel, sad or elated that you won't have to keep driving up and down this hill climb anymore?
It means I won't need to make any more flyers and Facebook posts, but it's the last year celebrating 100 years. As in 1924 they decided this is nuts, why are we doing this? But we're going to try and keep raising money for the Air Ambulance as years go by. It just won't be as special, but it'll still be an event worth coming to. Because
next year it is rumoured that in association with Ireland Motorsport there will be a classic car event of some sort.
Yeah, if they keep supporting us, why not? Let's go. Let's make it bigger and better. I'm not speaking on behalf of the big man, doss my cap. But yeah, let's keep going because people love it and it draws a big crowd and a lot of money for the ambulance.
Now, as per previous years, you've brought some of the family's collection of cars. What have we got this year?
We've got a 1956 +4 Lawrence Tune Supersport Morgan this year, which is the last car that Chris Lawrence worked on, so it's basically Le Mans spec. So it's a pig to drive slowly, but when you get it on song, it's wicked.
And the Jaguar.
The Mark 1 Jag, yeah, 3.4 straight six. Dad's piloting that today. Ex-Cliff Allison, Formula 1 driver, a counterpart of Ireland, Mr. Ireland, back in the day. So yeah, there's some nice cars here.
And what is your opinion of the hill climb today? It's been a bit greasy, so I've heard.
A bit greasy. On the way up, it's not a problem. On the way down, on drum brakes, on skinny tyres, you've got to be careful. But honestly, I think it just encourages people that it is a road event, because when it's dry, it's a great surface, actually. So it just encourages people to just enjoy the views rather than maxing their car. Yeah.
So what else have you got planned for today?
For today, I've got a few more runs up the hill, just spectate, take pictures, enjoy the day, and then a meal at the Fleece, who are kind enough to host us. The least we can do is say thank you by having a fish and chips or something for the day. So that's the plans for the rest of today.
George, thanks very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver.
Thank you, Mark. See you soon.
Ian Kellett from the Carding Shed. Welcome to the Backseat Driver.
Good afternoon.
You're here with the Beast, are you not?
Yes, we are.
It's about its annual outing, is this, isn't it?
No, it's out loads of times. It's done 500 miles this week.
For those that don't know what it is, what exactly is the Beast? It's like an amalgamation of old and new.
Well, I call it my pile of scrap because that's what it's made out of. But it's an old chassis, an old 1939 Armstrong Siddeley chassis that was being scrapped without an engine and gearbox or a body, and I stupidly put a Jaguar V12 in it and built a stupid, silly aluminium body. So, yeah.
It looks an old car, though, doesn't it? You built it to look old.
Yes, because if I had bottomless pockets, I'd buy myself an Aero Engine Special, Edwardian Special. But I can't afford those prices, so build my own.
Now, I have driven it once, and it can be a handful, can't it?
Especially today if it's wet up the hill, yes. But it's got new tyres on, and they've improved it dramatically.
So it holds on about half a second longer than it used to?
Yeah, just about, yes, yes.
I mean, what inspired you to build that car?
Nothing to do with my spare time. Idle hands. So that was it. I always liked to be building projects. And when we'd stopped racing cars, I needed something to do, so played about with that.
And, of course, it forms a bit of a focal point at the carding shed, which is your cafe, is it not?
It is, yes. People like to come and see it. I get complaints if it's away or if it's down in the workshop being worked on. Where is it? But yeah, people like it. People like to see that, amongst the other things that we've got at work as well.
Of course, you do guided tours of the workshops, don't you?
We do. I thought I was doing one this morning, but I've been told that no, it's next week. So, yes, I've got one. We've got 2 more left this year, and then that's it for this year. I can rest my vocal cords for a little longer.
And what lies in store for the beast?
The Distinguished Gentleman's Drive in September, I think, is its next event. It did Carlisle to a wedding last week, and maybe the odd car show, whatever. And then me to get stress relief on a night if I've had a bad day.
And what's it like up Holme Moss Hill Climb?
It's fun. It's the coming down that's the hard bit, because the brakes are not that clever. They are 1939 brakes.
So you didn't think to put modern brakes on it when you were building the rest?
Spoils the fun, that. Have to think about things. So, no, that spoilt the fun. No, too much, as all good racing drivers say, too much power, not enough grip, and no brakes, and that's a perfect race car.
As Enzo Ferrari used to say as well.
Yes, apparently, yes.
Ian Kellett, thanks very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver.
Thank you very much.
Here with Neil Calvert and his Ferrari tribute at Holme Moss. Neil, welcome back to the Backseat Driver.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you been here before?
No. I got a message from Mark Cowlam early on this week that said if I wanted to do the Holme Moss Hill Climb, this weekend would be the last weekend. So I've meant to come a couple of years, but there's been something else on locally. So this year I've made the effort, and I'm glad I did. It's a superb event.
What do you think of the hill climb?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, this morning it was the transmitter was thick in the mist. The corners were slippy. Obviously, the roads are open, so you have to be careful. Yeah, but it's superb. It's great.
And what's the Ferrari like on it?
Yeah, it's good. Handles well. Yeah.
Because for this, it is a big car, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But obviously, it's a 63 look-alike, but it's a very modern chassis, modern suspension and everything, modern brakes, so it handles really well.
And there's talk of a, shall we say, courtesy of Ireland Motorsport, a form of classic car run next year. Will you be returning for that?
Yeah. I've heard whispers that they are going to run something next year, not this particular event, but they're running something. Yeah, it will be nice. I've been here since early this morning. A nice set of guys. Spoken to a lot of people. Yeah, it's very friendly.
And will you be using this, or are you ever tempted to get the full-blown rallying Lotus Ford Cortina out?
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice, comfortable car to drive. The Cortina is noisy and it's got a clutch that's either in or out, no halfway between. And yeah, it's a great car for the stages, but not for tootling about the roads.
Neil Calvert, thanks so much for joining me once again on the Backseat Driver.
You're welcome, Mark. Thank you.
I'm here at Holme Moss Hill Climb with Paul Ogle. Paul, welcome to the Backseat Driver.
Hiya Mark, how are you?
Right, just for a change, or just for a novelty, you normally come in the car that, shall we say, bears your name, though there's no relation, an Ogle. But you're in a Ginetta. Why are you in a Ginetta?
The Ogle's having a rest today. She's just getting ready to go down to the 70th anniversary of Ogle Cars in a couple of weeks' time. So we've brought the Ginetta out. I thought it was a fitting vehicle. She's got the Yorkshire Rose on the roof.
And technically they're a Yorkshire car, aren't
they? Yeah. Built in Garforth. Yeah.
So, Ogles that you're famous for, I mean, there's not a lot of them about, is there?
There's a few. There were 69 originally of the Ogle Minis, and there's probably still about 20, 30 globally. There's a good sort of 6 or 7 in the UK on the roads.
And the Ginetta, which one is it?
It's the G40. Yeah. It's a 2016 Ginetta G40. Yeah, it was raced for a couple of seasons.
And, I mean, what are they like? Because, I mean, it basically is a racing car on the road, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a hybrid. It's set up for both.
And Holme Moss. I mean, you've been here every year, haven't you, since the recreation was brought into being?
Yeah.
What do you think of it? I mean, apart from the fact they had to take the corner out at some point, which was about 1930.
Do you know, I think it's a great place. I think it's a shame that across the fullness of time they couldn't have got a way of actually reenacting it in a proper way.
And I mean, I know they were thinking of applying for a road closure, but it's not happened. But I mean, for one day of the year, it brings an enormous amount of enthusiastic drivers, very interesting cars, visitors, and more importantly, cash into the tiny little hamlet of Holme.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, most people, it's like I've said to people in the past, people are enthusiasts with cars like this. You know, they're not hooligans. We're all going to be very respectful and make sure everything's by the book and safe. So, it cuts both ways. I do remember a really funny situation probably 3 years ago when a lady was herding a whole herd of sheep down the centre of the road here. It was one of the funniest things I've ever had to get out of the way of. I've got a good bit of film of that somewhere.
Now, it's claimed that something, not the hill climb, but something else will be taking place from here next year. I conclude you'll be attending in either an Ogle or a Ginetta.
You're ahead of me. I don't know what's happening next year.
Or from what you were saying earlier on, you might be going for something with a bigger engine, nice leather interior, and that's easy to drive.
Yeah, I think my lovely wife who stood here, she'd prefer that to rattling around in these strange plastic things.
Paul Ogle, thanks very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver.
Thanks, Mark. Good to see you.
I'm at the top of the Holme Moss Hill Climb 2024 with possibly the most famous motor racing marshal in the country, the one, the only Mr. Steve Tarrant. Steve, welcome to the Backseat Driver.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
It's rather lonely at the moment since nearly everybody's done their runs, but what made you come to the Holme Moss Hill Climb?
I would have to say Guy Loveridge. Without him, I probably wouldn't know that much about it, and having worked with Guy for about 20 odd years at Goodwood and other venues, it seemed a natural thing to do, especially as I'm en route at the moment from Dorset up to Scotland.
Have you enjoyed it?
Absolutely. The weather could have been a little bit friendlier, but as I understand it, this is Yorkshire, so therefore you get what you get.
Oh yeah, you get wet predominantly.
That was this morning, yes.
Regrettably, it's the last year for this event. Will you be coming back for any of the other events that are going to spin off from this?
Quite possible. There's been talk of a tour and other bits and pieces, and obviously anything that's motorsport related, especially with the history of motorsports. It would be great to come back and explore more of the region and build on the knowledge that I've got, because obviously I'm predominantly southern based, so to come to the Midlands, come to God's own country, I'll give it all a try and see what I find.
I mean, hill climbing was extremely popular in this part of the world, mainly for the simple reason we have a lot of hills. And back when hill climbs were hill climbs, you didn't have the problem shutting roads, they just went ahead and did it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, bureaucracy as it is nowadays, you've got to go with the flow. That's what it is, sadly.
I mean, still in Yorkshire, not local as such, but as I said, there's quite a few other hill climbs around here. Are you going to look into them?
In due course, I will do over time. Now that I've retired from the marshalling side of things, I spend much more time looking at the history of the sport and other venues and places I've not previously been as an interested spectator, and can take all this in.
I mean, the one I was going to mention was Pateley Bridge. That's another one over in Yorkshire that's a very steep hill climb. And not far away in sunny Lancashire, one of the very first hill climbs was on Waddington Fell. It's like I said, but back then they were for touring cars, and they had to carry a full complement of passengers and a full complement of luggage.
Wow, well, that's the history that, hill climbing nowadays is much more specialised, whereas back then it was open the vehicles that you drove on the road.
Now, though you say you've retired from marshalling, you appear to still be quite active in motorsport.
Yeah, basically I stopped circuit marshalling back in 2017, completed 30 years of marshalling in general at that point. I obviously had to listen to my body that I can't quite do the things I used to be able to do, and it was kind of, okay, that's naturally progressed to a point where I decided with safety it was time to put a full stop on that, but to then move into avenues. So I moved into the photography side of things and thoroughly enjoy what I'm allowed access to.
Steve Tarrant, it's been a pleasure chatting to you, and thanks for coming on The Backseat Driver, and thanks for being in the top car park at the Holme Moss Hill Climb.
My pleasure, thank you very much.
Well, Holme Moss Hill Climb 2024 marks the end of yet another year and the end of this particular event. As I said before, something will replace it. But whatever, the beneficiaries of the hill climb of Holme Moss, a Yorkshire Air Ambulance, have made a decent amount of money out of it because it costs them a fortune to keep their helicopter in the air. Somebody was saying that on a busy day, the bill can come to £19,000 to keep the Yorkshire Air Ambulance helicopter airborne. So something will come along to replace the Holme Moss Hill Climb to make sure Yorkshire Air Ambulance gets its funds, and whatever it is, it will be based at the Fleece in the tiny little hamlet of Holme, a fantastic pub, and it never fails but to impress the little locals and the regulars. All of a sudden, their car park, their paddock behind, is filled with enthusiasts and cars, just for one day. But it never fails to raise the money for Yorkshire Air Ambulance and put on a fastic to social occasion for all concerned. So if you want to know more for 2025, just go on social media, Holme Moss Hill Climb or Ireland Motorsport, and you will find out more next year. Until then, as always, it's me, Mark Stone, saying be good, take care, ta-ta, and I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Backseat Driver podcast. Really beaten on price, never beaten on service. Whether it's cars, bikes or commercials, Hodder Tyres are the best in the business. And when it comes to tyre expertise and advice to supplying the correct tyres for your vehicle's specific requirements, nobody comes close to David Lakin and the Hodder Tyres team. So give them a call on 01200 613 192 or visit the website at hoddertyres.co.uk.